Yo, 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 what's good with it? It's the homie Mac, music, art, culture, knowledge, reporting live from the Dogon. Peace and love to all. Each one teach one. Like, share, comment, subscribe. Subscribe to the YouTube channel 82 Kings. Follow the movement on Instagram at MACK TV 82. Uh yeah, so today I want to talk about this is a real quick session of Mac minutes. Uh I made a status on Facebook saying that everybody is screaming protect black women, but nobody seems to be giving much thought to, creating a framework or ethos, just a culture that helps black boys transition into manhood. I think by and large, uh, black men have been really destabilized. I think our manhood, it's been, and it's not funny. I'm just saying, like, I think it's something people don't think about. Sometimes it's humorous to me that people don't consider this, that our manhood was snatched from us, that our sense of self was snatched from us. And I think, if you have no true sense of self, you just turn into a savage. I think that, a lot of people love to quote Malcolm X. They always like to say, the black woman is the most disrespected, mistreated person in America. And my thing is, I can I think that statement has a lot of validity, but they stop right there. They don't go full circle or talk about what Malcolm said after that. He said a lot of that is due to the fact that black men are so destabilized and disenfranchised that systemically we're so disenfranchised and destabilized that we have not been able to um, collectively give our women a hand. We have not been able to fortify, foment, build anything solid with them. Because think about it, there are more black men incarcerated in America than women of all races incarcerated throughout the globe. So that speaks to a systemic issue, and I guess my thing is, let's get to the core of the matter. You know, protect black women. I'm down with that. I have no qualms with that. You will never hear me say that black women don't need to be protected. You will never hear me say that a black woman's life has no value. You will never hear me say that. I was birthed through a black woman. I have sisters. I have a lot of black women in my life that are very supportive, that are very loving, that I care about, that I love. And I think it's kind of like the the frustration has much merit. Protect black women, and I understand there are a lot of black women that don't feel protected, don't feel safe around black men, and I think that there is those feelings are justified. But my thing is, like, at some point we need to go beyond the frustration. We need to go beyond uh we need to go beyond the symptoms and try to fix this, try to rectify this. And the only way I know to rectify this is given, if we're saying that black women feel largely unprotected, or are unprotected because they don't get protection from black men, okay, then let's acknowledge that, and then let's talk about, what can we do to shift the paradigm. We need to create a culture where black boys transition into manhood. Kind of like how the FOI does it. Shout out to the Fruit of Islam. Shout out to even if you look at Greek culture, and when I say Greek, I'm talking about the Divine Nine, National Panhellenic Council. You transition. You go from, as far as an alpha, I'm an alpha. You go from one stage to another stage which has a title, and then the final stage which has a title. So it's like we need to matriculate and go and create this culture where um, there is priority put on manhood, a healthy sense of manhood. And we need to understand that manhood, these boys need to be taught that, manhood is not relegated or defined below your waist. Manhood is largely encompasses being a protector, having integrity, being a provider, having character, having solid character. Really not being self centered. Having a the onus is placed on him to give back, to have a sense of indebtedness to the community. We need to get back to a communal sense. One of the examples I can think of to kind of center what I'm saying, there was I feel like we've been cut off. I feel like that culture, that transition from boyhood to manhood, like there's nothing for these black boys to buy into collectively to have a sense of self. And if you don't have a sense of self, you're not going to see value in yourself. You're not going to see value in anyone. So we're basically, I feel like we're asking a lot of black boys who really don't have a true sense of self to see value in black women. And that's just not going to work until there's a framework, again, a culture that they can buy into that teaches them to value their own bodies, to value themselves. They're not going to see value in anyone else, And I think we just need to get to the root of the problem. There needs to be, we need to solidify something. We need to create this culture where these boys see value in themselves. They have a sense of community, a communal sense, and they feel indebted to solidify their communities, to protect black women, to protect black children, and not to be reckless, to think long term, to think about how their actions reverberate and how said actions impact the community. One of the examples I can give, and I'm not trying to say I'm not trying to equate us to animals, but I'm trying to give a simple analogy. My father had told me how there were some elephants in Africa, this community of elephants that were normally pretty chill, docile, passive in context of human interaction. How they would interact with humans. He was telling me how like these elephants, after a while, they became very aggressive, and they started killing humans. They started going into town, tearing stuff up. And I guess some people came down there to kind of to combat it, and they started tranquilizing and killing some of those elephants. And they realized most of these elephants are young. They don't have any elders. So what does that mean? There was no ethos. There was no culture. There was no initiation. There was no training to be an adult elephant. So they were just wilding out, doing whatever they wanted to do. And I think there's a lot of parallels with that and with black men, And I'm not saying, somebody was saying, oh, what are you trying to say? Black women, it's the onus is on them to create this culture. No, I'm not saying the onus is on them, but they should have input. And not only should they have input, they should reinforce this culture that pushes black boys to manhood. Another example, you got the Dogon tribe in Mali. They have a whole ritual where boys transition into manhood, and it's not predicated or contingent upon age. There are certain things they have to do. There are certain things that have to happen that make them more, I guess, that make them candidates to transition into manhood. And they have the ceremony, and then they transition into manhood. And when they have this ceremony, I can't remember the name of the ceremony, but they have a sense of self. They have a communal sense. They realize, dang, I'm a man. There is a responsibility that I have to my people, to myself, to my women. And my thing is, until we get to that, because we're literally living in a time where I think you have, and this is not a shot. I'm not taking shots at anybody. I'm just saying, like, we're in a time now where there's a whole spectrum and semantical range of what is and what isn't a man, or who is or who isn't a woman. And I think a lot of because I coached AAU basketball, and some of the boys that I was coaching, talking to, they said as far as like gender identification, sometimes they felt confused. Like, who is a man? Who is a woman? And I think we need to define these things more rigidly in a healthy way. And we have to start from there, create this culture where, black men and black women both are lifted up and both have support systems. These are just some random thoughts that are on my mind. Like, share, comment, subscribe. Subscribe to the YouTube channel 82 Kings. Follow the movement on Instagram at MACK_TV_82. All that'll be in the description. Yeah, and one more thing. I was thinking about, before I leave, I was thinking about how W.E.B. Du Bois said no other group of women could have endured such a strong hellfire. And he's basically talking about, look, when you look at a lot of races of women, they have strong male counterparts that have institutional power, that have a say in the social milieu of this country, and they're able to pull themselves up off of the things that their men have done. They have strong male counterparts. And, a lot of, let's keep it 100. A lot of brothers don't have those institutions, don't have those resources. Yet and still, even though black women have not necessarily had the framework or the culture, they could just build off the blacks of black men. They've created their own stability, and that speaks a lot to the strength and the power of a black woman. But yeah, I'm out. Hit me up. GETATMACKTVPODCAST@gmail.com. YouTube channel, subscribe. 82 Kings. Session of Mac Minutes, man. Just talk to me. I holla.